Yo, what's up? Trey all day, John Blind. Shibizen Daily Talk, doing a little bit of brunch sesh.
Little brunch in the afternoon. How's it going, BTD?
Going pretty good, man. How you doing?
Doing great, man. I'm glad to hear it.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. The 22 principles of the Shibizen stuff, right? And we were going to talk a little about Shib ID and stuff too, but that's what I heard. They was like, yo, there's 22 principles, and that's an important number. And I was like, fuck, okay. All right, good. But then check this out. Remember those I didn't even tell you yet, Trey. So yesterday I was learning about they call it tarot, you know, but it ain't. It comes from Egypt, right? And supposedly these Can you see that book right there? There it is. Yeah. See, these Venusians in this book said they came down to Egypt and they gave them the tarot, but they didn't give them no goddamn cards, Trey. They gave them some pictures to look at, right? I think called Major Archon. They gave them some pictures. They said, okay, this is the goddamn Joker. This is the Magician. This is the Emperor. This is the Empress. This is the Hierophant. And they said, okay, these are what they look like, man. Just showed them a picture. You know, and the Magician, these people, they might have had, you know, some shit around them in the picture, like a sword or a cup or some shit. And yeah, there's some symbolism in that. And the student was just supposed to look at the picture, Trey. That's it. Look at the picture. Say, what is the Magician doing? Chilling over there, pointing up and pointing down. What could it be talking about? Well, as above, so below. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean, really? I heard it a bunch, right? As above, so below. But I think what it means, T. Diddy, is that, you know, we got a higher mind, right? That's like not in our body. Or maybe it is in our body, but it's not our body. And that's what those books were saying. They said, you know, you got a body, you got a mind, and you got a spirit. And they were calling it the mind, body, spirit complex. And that mind, let's just say, that's above. And let's just say, you know, down below, we got the body, right? So if you get that mind right, you know, you hear people say, get your mind right. Well, if you get your damn mind right, you can be the emperor. You can be the priestess. You can be the magician in your own world.
Right.
You know? And so
about that the other night, I had a small dream about that. Like, we were all talking about faucets and everything. It could be like a community faucet where it drips like rewards from each token that puts in or donates. And I had like a dream about that, dude. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Being on that level.
That is dope, man. I've been having a bunch of work dreams too lately.
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to, you know, it just comes and goes like that, you know?
You know, last time that happened, I'm just thinking about this, but last time that happened, it's been a while, and some real good happened right after it. I feel like when we do work in our dreams, when we are over there working, we're getting shit done, you know, a lot of times. And that faucet stuff, all the symbolism that you saw, let's just say, about that faucet, I bet it gave you some ideas.
Right. Yeah, it did, dude. And I thought about that saying, too. You know how they say you're not really awake. You're just awake in someone else's dream. You know?
Yeah.
Feels like that sometimes when you're having those dreams. Like, I knew I was having a dream, but I didn't want to get out of it. So I knew I was asleep consciously, you know? But I kept myself there. I was like, I want to learn more.
Yeah. Dude, I was in the other night trying to check my portfolio. And the shit was not in fucking English. And I was like, God damn, I can't read this shit. but in the dream, it was like, it was okay. But I'm telling you, I remember looking at my phone twice and it just being almost like another English or another language, you know, that's of Earth, but I didn't recognize it really at all.
Right.
And I was like, fuck. But in the dream, it made sense. I was on a different iOS. In the dream, I knew I wasn't even on the right iOS and shit, right? Like, the shit was right.
That's how it was for me. I was in like this Tron level. It was like kind of Tronish, but it was like a simulation. It was fucking weird.
That's dope, bro. That's what I was learning about yesterday a little bit. They were like, yeah, like, just pretend one of your higher selves, let's just say maybe your mind portion that we were talking about. Let's just say it's, I don't know, the seventh dimension or some shit. The seventh dimension ain't one I think about very often. But let's say it's up there and it's almost like it's us sitting on a couch. This is what the person was saying. It's like it's us sitting on a couch with a headset on, and then me and Trey's here, we over here having fun. And if that's the case, whatever, it might only be one joker up there. Who knows? But I tell you this, if that's the case, and you can communicate with that joker, you know, you can say, okay, I'm ready for a little upgrade. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for some cheat codes. Whatever you want to say, do a little meditation on it. You'll get some ideas, like in that dream. You know, that's the best is to get ideas. It's really just walking meditation is really good, and I'm starting to do that more.
Oh yeah, me too. The same here, man. I've been doing it a lot. I'm doing it right now. Speak on the phone.
Yeah, so much fun, man. Like, I didn't realize I hadn't been doing it that long. I realized how good it was. But you come up with some facts and figures, especially when you're walking by yourself and not talking. Let's just say, but either way, you come up with some good numbers, all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
So you was talking about everybody getting their SHIB ID, and that is important as fuck, man, because that's what those people over there with the little eye reading machine was doing, was WorldCoin.
Right.
And I looked into it, Trey. So me and you could order one of them little eye machines. We go down to the goddamn mall.
How tough it was going to be, though, for a decentralized SHIB identity. You know what I mean, and still be kind of anonymous. But I guess they figured it out. And we were talking about this when we were talking about the principles, and we were trying to figure out that the identity thing. And now their SHIB identity come out. It's like, okay, they hear us talking too.
That's what they were saying, man. Like the other day, they were like, "Yo, the dude wrote the story about the Titanic. He called it like the Titan, I think it was. Which they're looking for a Titan right now over on Gaudy's chat. But anyway, the Titan in the book, it sank and all that shit. And then, like, you know, years later, the Titanic came out. Wasn't that far apart, but they're saying, you know, all fiction will, you know, come to life. And so if that's the case, yo, that's great. That's great to know. Let's create some really good stories like we do. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you know how we make those shows, those funny ones, Trey?
Yeah.
Well, just creating good content like that.
Just random improv energy.
Oh man, I love it, bro. Love it. That was fun.
But yeah, man, we could do get together for a show, man. We'll go more over this SHIB identity with you and Uber and whoever else wants to join in.
Yeah, man. So here's the thing about having a sovereign ID. There's something big to it, and I'm trying to think there's a mechanism behind it. Okay. Oh, okay. I know what it is now, Trey. It's what nobody's talking about, but me and you're going to talk about like they did the Titanic. We're going to make this shit happen, bro. What's it called? Liquid data. Liquid data. That's a big thing, man. That's a big thing that we're talking about 4, 5, 6 years ago. Liquidizing that data, everybody's data, because that's what's worth money, right, Trey? Don't people love that data for some reason?
Absolutely.
I mean, businesses and shit, don't they want people's data and shit, and don't they covet it?
Yeah, they do, actually.
I mean, it's a little over my head. I understand it, but I try not to covet the data. But here's what they're doing. They want everybody to covet their own data. Have your own data. Susie got her own data. Now, what do you need to have her own data? You got to have an identity. You got to make sure Susie's Susie and Susie ain't the dog, right?
Right.
And they say they have an innovative way of doing that without scanning the eyeball. See, that's what WorldCoin was going to do. Scan your eyeball, you know, let you have some money in the form of coin. Now, what does that sound like, right? Like, does that sound like a reward token almost?
Absolutely, dude. We talked about this a long time ago, man. Like being able to like promote yourself and your skills and your knowledge is all tied into one worth. So you have a worth behind who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So you think about it, we are our best AI that we could use. You know what I mean? When we talk about tapping in and stuff like that, man, that's the best way to go.
That's right. That's right, brother. And so I think when I say liquid data, Trey, that really means, to me, it means universal income.
Right.
Universal. Some people call it basic income. But Trey, what would first basic do? Would that almost help fight inflation or not? Do you think? Because I don't know.
I'm not too sure. I mean, it might be a good thing and it might be a bad thing at the same time, but you never know how it's going to work out. But it's trying to be one fully centralized, one world currency.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. You need both. But then it would still be centralized if it's one,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good point right there, bro. So, how could we imagine that a good way of doing universal basic because we don't want to do it in cash because they're just gonna print cash and make that inflation go up. So that ain't gonna work. Giving them a deflationary token might help, but like you said, it's gotta be more than one,
right?
Or at least right, at least interchangeable. Gotta be that. Because that way, if it's interchangeable, people might trade it into this or that and that instead of versus just like cash, which would probably just make inflation go higher. My guy told me a few minutes ago, he said, yo, Trey, right now the economy is pretty down right now. And I said, really? I said, I bet it's inflation.
Absolutely.
I feel like it is.
It definitely is, dude. It's a good example.
That's just education right there. That's all that is. It's already solved. And it's just, I ain't going to say it's up to us. It's just already here. Let's use it. Deflationary. Me and grew up on inflation. That's where we cut our teeth is in deflation.
Right.
And rewards.
That's what I live for, man. That's what I'm fucking invested into.
Mm-hmm.
Communities that go by.
It takes demand, which is the hardest part of that, right? Supply is not an issue. You get rid of your supply. Demand issue. And do you think Shiba's done it? I mean, I get they haven't. But do you think they've done it with their introduction into Treat? Maybe the best deflationary token because of the demand that they put up there. That's the only reason that it can make it work, let's just say. Now, do you think there's any other mechanisms in Treat that we don't know about that would make more tokens, Trey? That would be the issue of inflation in my opinion.
I think that the Treat tech, if it keeps doing what it's doing, I think it might be a good way into that. Branch it off of Treat.
Exactly. Treat is fully decentralized. Exactly. Meaning more of an ecosystem available. Now, I'm glad you said that, bro. Because if you were going to do one or two or three or four ways of putting out universal basic income,
right?
Give out one there to teach people inflation. That's another reason I'm really glad that they made the access to the Shib.io, everything Shib.io. What that really means to me, Trey, is the new user interface, which is the new app. I think they call it the Shiba Hub, right?
Right, yeah.
Identities, a wallet, Treat being the access token. Now, to me, Treat being the access token reminds me a lot of that fucking faucet that you and Muscle were talking about.
Right.
Getting everybody a little bit of Treat in their wallet. Why? For access. Now we can make that happen, bro. We can make that happen, and that's kind of what community is all about. We shouldn't wait for the devs, let's just say, because maybe they've thought about it, maybe they haven't, maybe they've had time, maybe they haven't. But that's like Muscle and you and me. We can build that. Add a little Treat. What else? He said make it a donation thing where people can put into the faucet assets they would like people to own, and that right there, bro, that blew my mind.
Hell yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, think about it. You want somebody to hold Shuggy for access to Shuggy's bar and grill or something right there. And they, let them come to our faucet, hold a little bit so they can go in there and eat, whatever. Maybe they become a member inside. Once it's donated to that faucet, and think about this. I know there's ways to get passive income into that faucet, meaning adding liquidity. Now, I think that's the next show we should do, Trey, is about adding fucking liquidity, be it treat and she in a pair, right? No ether involved, right? Probably, I don't even know if they're doing it on the Shibarium side or the ether side. I have no idea, right? But do that properly. Let's fucking do a show, because there's a couple of numbers in there I'm not sure about. Ratios, maybe I could get the ratios, but there's some other things I'm scared of, right? I don't want to go in there and suffer impermanent loss and lose everything or none of that shit. If there's a safe way to do it, let's tell people, because that I learned yesterday again, you're going to earn passive income from that.
Absolutely.
And
especially a system like Shibarium, that could, it's going to work well.
Yeah, if that's the case, let's say you put some she or some sugi or some mussels or something in that faucet. Well, just by adding liquidity, you could probably keep feeding that faucet.
Absolutely.
That'd be dope, bro. That'd be so dope. Perpetual.
Yeah, that would be dope, man.
Hell yeah. I'm so glad that you about that dream, man.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, man. I'd love to talk to you more on it. But yeah, it was pretty wild, man. It was like, did I have this because that was the last thing we were talking about before I went to bed, or is it showing me something? But basically it was like a community, like, I don't know. I just remember this guy giving out bottles of water, and he was using water inside his nice, house and shit. And it was in a community or neighborhood, whatever. But it was kind of like Tronish kind of graphics. And then he was giving away water. Yeah. And whenever he gave away water, like, it didn't cost them nothing. And he was gaining from that, from their use of that water. And then they started gaining from their use of the water.
See, that
makes sense. That's a dream. I was like, what is it?
Bro, that makes sense, man. I see that. I see that, bro. I see that as working, right? That's what we're doing with all these systems. We're turning them on their head, right? Literally putting them, deflation is the opposite of inflation. So I feel like that you could give away water, like you say, at no cost and gain at the same time. Exactly the opposite of what's normal, right? I feel like that's definitely a way.
The whole community uses that water. You know what I mean?
Say again?
Like, all within the whole community, like, everybody uses that same water, and it's not the same exact water, but the same water source. And everybody's gaining from using that water. You know what I'm saying? So it's keeping the community alive, and they're all getting their, they all prosper from it.
It reminds me a lot of there's a spring bottle water. I don't know if water yet. It's like Shiba Water Company, right? And I think it's out of Sweden. I could be wrong. They're doing it out there. But it reminds me of that whole crypto blast thing where you get the Shiba, and there's Shiba energy drink too, Shiba Spark. Shout out to both of those characters. Let us know, your burn mechanisms, how you're burning Shiba, because that's the key to what Trey's talking about. He's like, yo, how can we not only, make our currency more valuable by burning this Shiba, but at the same time, all these waters over here are free and we can give those away.
Absolutely.
Because of that. Dope.
Yeah, we should talk more on this, man. We'll get Uber Barbie and a couple of people together, and we'll talk more on this and this Shibidentity and everything, man, and go over a few things, get everybody's opinions and everything too.
Bro, that was great, man. I was able to get a lot of good stuff out there. And if you're listening, support Shiba Water, support Shiba Sparks, support your community. Do what you do best at. Do what you do best, right, Trey?
Absolutely, dude. Ain't no other way.
And we'll support that. We love support.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.